You knew what you were going to do, not afterward, before. You had decided in a calm moment that next time you'd stay in the room, keep your voice level, and ask one question instead of six. Then it happened, and you didn't. 10 minutes later, you could have described the whole thing perfectly. You could have written the better version. That gap between knowing and doing usually gets called weakness, or something you haven't understood yet. It's neither. It's a gap in time, and something happens inside it. Here's a version of it. Evening. You're at the sink with your hands in the water. Someone you live with is behind you at the table. You ask about something small, whether they called the person they said they'd call, and they don't answer. Not a no, not a yes, just nothing. The evening keeps going. The tap keeps running. A car passes outside. 3 seconds. By the end of them, you've said something with an edge on it that you did not plan to say, in a voice that isn't quite yours, and the evening has changed shape. Go back to the first of those 3 seconds, before the sentence, before you turned around. Your breath had already changed, not dramatically. It caught, got shallower, stopped moving all the way down. Your jaw set. Most of us don't have a word for it. We just say we went tight. Heat came up through the chest, not anger yet, just heat. And your attention did something specific. It narrowed. Everything in the room that wasn't that silence stopped mattering. The water on your hands stopped registering. The car outside was gone. None of that was a decision. By the time a thought reached words, the body had already started organizing around the silence. And here's the part that matters. None of it was nonsense. That was your body filing a report, and the report was accurate to something, just not necessarily to tonight. A report is not an instruction. The tightening in your chest didn't say leave. None of it said what to do. Those are all sentences. Something had to add them, and something did. Not from the sink and not from tonight, from everything silence has ever meant to you. What happened the other times someone went quiet? What it cost? Fear takes the body's report and writes an ending on it that the present hasn't supplied. And an ending, held hard enough, stops being a guess. It starts giving orders. Step back from the kitchen for a moment. You can give what you just went through a shape. And the shape has 3 parts. Zone 1. Familiar safety, coherence holds, attention stays wide. Breath has range. Zone 2. The edge. Activation is underway. Attention narrows. Breath catches. Heat rises. Zone 3. The survival script. Choice has fallen behind the script. Contact with the present breaks. What carried signal in Zone 2 now carries command. That middle band is the edge. It has a beginning and an end, and however brief it is, it has width. That's the only reason any of this is workable. Back at the sink, it went the way Zone 3 goes, but it doesn't have to. Awareness can stay present with it, not calm. Calm may still be a long way off, but the command loses momentum. It may still fire. It runs less far. That depends on conditions. Sleep, prior load, history, whether there's support you can actually use, how much access you have that day. Some days the interval is wide enough to work in, some days it isn't. That's not a verdict on you. 3 different kinds of knowledge meet in that interval. Each makes a different part of the same event visible. Somatic work asks where the activation shows first and whether it can be felt and stayed with before it carries you. Breath, jaw, gut, feet. Trauma neuroscience asks how the body prepares for defense before thought has finished placing the cue in context. Threat-relevant cues can begin recruiting protective responses before full contextual evaluation is complete. Trauma can lower the threshold, so less may have to happen in the present before the body prepares for what history taught it to expect. And Tom Campbell's MBT describes the interval at the consciousness altitude. In MBT, fear narrows decision space. The choices consciousness can actually reach under pressure. 3 altitudes, 1 interval. So what does the distinction change? Mostly it takes one thing away, the idea that this was a failure of will. You may have lost control. That happened, and it's yours. What it wasn't is a verdict on your character. Before the sentence came out, something narrowed, and that narrowing is the part you can actually work with. Understanding where a reaction came from doesn't undo what you said. The cost stays with the person who was in the room. The responsibility stays with you. And none of this is an argument for staying anywhere. If the silence in your house signals actual danger, distance may be the regulated act. This work never asks you to stand closer to prove you can stay present. The next time it happens, you may only find it afterward. That's still something. An hour later, a day later, you might be able to put your finger on the place where the report started turning toward an order. Not to fix it, just to find it. Traced enough times, that place can become easier to recognize. Sometimes recognition arrives earlier. One day it may arrive while it's still happening. The tap is still running. Your hands are still in the water. Somewhere in those 3 seconds, your body spoke first.